Kalamazoo, you are about to find out with some improvisation and witty banter. You'll have no doubt that, yes, there really is an answer. Kalamazoo.
Good evening, Kalamazoo, and welcome to Yes, There Really Is an Answer, the show that's part game show, part improv theater, part talk show, and all Kalamazoo. I'm Bannon Backus with Crawl Space Theater and Crawl Space Eviction, and I'll be hosting the show tonight. Thanks for tuning in for our 4th episode, and thanks again for Judd Gilbert for creating our awesome theme song. It's great. We hope that everybody is continuing to do as well as is possible. And as always, a special thank you to all of you who are essential workers. We couldn't do it without you, obviously. And speaking of not being able to do things, those of you who are longtime viewers of the show know that I like to begin each show with a little lighthearted monologue. But unfortunately, I didn't have the time to prepare anything for tonight. I spent all of my time trying to work a joke about Peter Pandemic, but eventually I realized that it would never land. And now let's introduce our contestants. As our own Dana White gets them up, there they are. Hi, contestants.
Hi.
Hi. Hello.
At the top, we have Jay Morris from Joyce to Men. In the middle, we have Tanya Rowland from Family Secret. And at the bottom, last but not least, we have Steve Brown from Small Victories. So let's just take a couple of minutes getting reacquainted with each other, since it's been a while since we've seen each other. Jay, how have you been doing through all this?
Pretty good, I guess. I mean, I have a lot of kids, so we've been watching a lot of reruns of Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? I'm realizing that I'm not, Bannon. So
okay.
My self-esteem is
3rd grade level.
I think 2nd grade. I'm not going much further than that, but it's been a blow to the self-esteem. Not going to say it's not.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Well, they're there in the house, so it's easy enough for you to copy off their answers. You know.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah, I totally cheat. Yeah.
So what I'd like to ask all of you is whether you have a favorite real or fictional mask, because obviously masks have become a part of the new normal for at least a while. So Jay, do you have a favorite real or fictional mask?
All right, so my gut goes in 2 different directions, because right before we started, a friend of mine just posted a picture of him. He owns a piano studio. So he found one with piano keys as teeth, which I thought was kind of cool. So it's like, okay, that's kind of cool. But I lean towards the Jason hockey mask instead. So it's like I'm conflicted.
Solid.
Yeah, classics never die.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, it's so good to see you, Jay.
You too.
And next up, Tanya. Tanya, how have you been?
I've been awesome. I hate to go against the grain, but the introvert in me is really digging the quarantine. I've been a great 35-year-old working on D&D campaigns and playing hours and hours of Animal Crossing, so I'm having a great old time.
That's right. When you use your imagination, there are no boundaries.
Anything's possible.
So how about you, Tanya? Do you have a favorite real or fictional mask?
I do. What comes to mind is Hannibal Lecter in Silence of the Lambs, when he turns around and has that guy's face that he chewed off on his face. So that's probably my favorite mask, I think.
Yeah, more for formal occasions, but you can dress it up or down.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you ever played D&D while drinking Chianti?
Unfortunately, no, but I'll have to try that this weekend. It'll be a good time.
Okay, yeah, let us know.
I will.
All right, well, good to see you, Tanya. And Steve, how have you been, my friend?
Hi, Bannon. I have been pretty good. Working and gardening and doing housework.
Okay. Are you gardening flowers, vegetables, both?
Both, with a strong preference for vegetables.
Okay.
They're fun. They're like little garden gnomes that you watch grow, and then you kill and eat them, I guess. I didn't really think that metaphor through, but so
So do you have a real or fictional mask, Steve?
so I think I like two things. I thought probably way too hard about this, but then the actual answer that was in my gut was there all along, and it was the much maligned and obscure 80s cartoon Mask, which was about like a superhero crime solving unit. They kind of wanted to be G.I. Joe, but they never were. They were like GoBots to Transformers.
Okay. And was MASK an acronym?
It was, but I'd have to look up what it was. I'm sorry, I don't have that ready.
That's okay. You don't expect these questions. You don't expect to be.
I'm not being scored on Mask, am I?
Yeah. Okay, well, awesome. Well, now that we've got that out of the way, let's explain how the game is played for those who might not have watched our show before. So the way that we play Yes, There Really Is an Answer is each contestant is going to take turns answering questions about Kalamazoo, and there's going to be 6 questions total, with each question being worth 100 points. And we're going to end the game with one final question, one big one that every contestant is going to answer, and that one is worth 300 points. That's right, 300 points.
Oof.
Watch out for it. It'll sneak up on you. And after the final question, we're going to see who the winner is, and the contestant with the lowest score is going to serenade us with a verse from that timeless classic, I've Got a Gal in Kalamazoo. Now, of course, our contestants have improv backgrounds, so not only will they be trying to correctly answer each question, they're going to have to try to answer those questions as a character, which I'm going to allow them to choose right now. And we're going to start with you, Jay.
Okay.
So here are your character choices. Would you like to be a member of Zoom tech support, a carefree surgeon, or a basketball coach / biology teacher?
Oh, I'll go with the basketball coach / biology teacher.
Okay, good pick. And what do you want your character's name to be?
Ted.
Ted.
Ted
That is a
Dixon.
good. Ted Dixon.
Yes.
CKSON,
X.
traditional spelling?
Really? Yeah.
Okay, you're that kind of teacher. All right. Awesome. So Jay is going to be playing a basketball coach / biology teacher named Ted Dixon. Awesome. Tanya, here are your character choices.
Okay.
You could be a down and out daycare provider, a
Oh.
handy woman who's not that good at her job, or a woman who claims to be the inspiration for the Star Wars character C-3PO.
What was the second one? A handy woman who's not very good?
Yes, a handy woman who's not very good at her job.
I'm going to play true to self and pick that one, I think.
I am sure you're being much too hard on yourself, but you are a handy woman who is not that good at her job.
Yeah.
And what is your character's name going to be?
I'll be Tammy Ricky.
Tammy Ricky. Tammy with a Y or an I?
You know, my real name's Goofy, so I'll make it with a Y. We'll go classic here.
Okay, Tammy Ricky.
Yeah.
Awesome. Tammy Ricky, the handy woman, will be played by Tanya. All right. And Steve, here are your character choices. You are going to be either a recently retired mechanic, a Microsoft intern, or an entrepreneurial child.
Man, those are good.
Yeah.
I feel like, did you say a recently retired mechanic?
Yes, a recently retired mechanic.
I've got to follow my heart, Bannon. That's yep.
A recently retired mechanic.
Yep.
Awesome. I knew you would pick that one because it's what your heart wanted. You said. All right, and what is the name of your character?
Ronald Grizzle.
What was it?
Ronald Grizzle.
Ronald Grizzle.
But my friends call me Ronnie Grizz.
Awesome. Okay, so Steve, you are going to be playing a recently retired mechanic named Ronald Grizzle. And Tanya, you're going to be playing a handy woman who is not that great at her job named Tammy Ricky. And Jay, you are going to be playing a basketball coach / biology teacher named Ted Dixon, spelled with an X. This is going to be great. All right. Now, as a reminder, as part of our program, you, the viewer, are going to have an opportunity to ask each of these characters any questions that you'd like. So we'll go through the first round of questions, and then we'll take a short break for Q&A. And Dan Seitzma, our own Dana White, who's working behind the scenes, will post any questions that you have for a character. So start commenting with those questions as soon as possible, and your question might get asked. And now, without any further ado, we are going to start with our first question on Yes, There Really Is an Answer. And this question is for you, Ted Dixon.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Go right ahead.
Ted, it's so good of you to be on our show. How are you doing?
Just glad to be here. You know how it is.
I understand that you have a pretty busy schedule. You have a couple of jobs from what I read in the show notes.
Well, I work as a biology teacher, but really, my true passion is coaching 9-year-olds on how to play basketball. It's really where I am. That's really what I do. So,
okay.
Yeah.
And that's great because there's probably a lot of overlap there, coaching a team or coaching someone, studying photosynthesis.
Totally. And the worst part about it is I really don't like kids all that much, but that's okay.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe we'll learn a little bit more about that later. Quite unusual.
Sure.
But Ted, here is your first question. And that question is, what is the name of the 2006 film that stars Mayim Bialik and was filmed in Kalamazoo? Are you a bit of a film buff at all there, Ted?
No, not really. No,
more of a reader.
No, I watch a lot of TV.
Okay.
So, yeah. Mayim Bialik, is she the girl from Blossom? Wasn't that her? Didn't that Blossom?
No, we can. I just checked. And with the producer, and I am able to tell you, yes, she did play Blossom.
She did play Blossom. I am going to say the movie was Blossom.
Blossom, the film.
Yes, 100%. Yes,
okay,
I'll lock that in.
Okay, great. So I want to be sure. As you can see, not the right answer. The actual answer was Kalamazoo. That was what we were looking for.
Okay.
But I do remember that that series finale of Blossom left a lot of loose ends. So maybe one day they will tie it up with a feature-length film.
Disappointing.
We can only hope. All right. Well, thank you so much, Ted. And now we are going to move on to our next contestant, who is Tammy Ricky. How are you, Tammy?
Hey there, Bannon. I am doing really good. How are you today?
I am doing great. It looks like you're very excited to be here.
Yeah, I think Tammy, you can hear me better this way, right?
Actually, I can hear you just as well if you position yourself a little bit further back from the screen, Tammy.
Okay, my bad.
And perfect, right there. Awesome. Well, Tammy, I understand that you are a handy woman. How has the pandemic affected your business?
Well, I will say I don't get as many indoor jobs as I used to get, but now I get lots of outdoor jobs, which I'm equally deliciously wonderful at. I fixed a sprinkler in Ted's yard, actually. You remember that, Ted? Your sprinkler working good?
It's working so well right now.
Well, that's good, actually. I'm a little surprised that was a new one for me, but I got her done.
Except the water just keeps going straight up and it doesn't really sprinkle. But other than that, it works fine.
Hey, straight up's got to come straight down, all right? It's sprinkling a little bit at least.
True.
Straight up has to come straight down.
Sure do.
That's pretty much my life philosophy, Tammy.
Oh.
All right. Well, Tammy, let's get you your second question here, and we'll have Dana White pull that up. And yours is kind of a history question, Tammy, and it is: In what year was the card game Flinch invented in Kalamazoo? 1901, 1921, or 1941? And I do have to say that this is actually a viewer-submitted question by longtime viewer Carl Smith. So thank you so much, Carl, for submitting this question and allowing Tammy to answer it.
Well, Carl, don't give me a hard one. Flinch, it sounds like maybe you throw cards at people, at their eyes, and see if it hits them or not.
Like Smoke and Fire?
Yeah, I
Smoke and
guess.
Fire?
No. Okay. Anyways, I'm guessing maybe 1901 because they was real bored back then.
Okay, 1901 because people, they didn't leave their houses a lot.
Yeah,
and,
they got to throw cards at each other, get out, go to the doctor if it goes
a
bad.
little bit isolated.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I like your logic there, Tammy, and you are 100% correct. The card game Flinch was invented in Kalamazoo in 1901. Congratulations.
Well, hot dog. Thank you.
You are on the board, and please don't act like this is the first time you've gotten anything right. I'm sure that you routinely get things perfectly.
Yeah, mostly. Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. And just as a reminder for our viewers, be sure that you're posting those questions because after we check in here with Ronald Grizzle, we'll be taking a break and we'll be asking your questions for our contestants. So speaking of Ronald Grizzle, how are you, Ronald?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing really well. And thank you so much for taking the time to join us. I understand that recently you've been finding yourself with a little bit more time.
Yeah, people want all their fancy cars worked on. All these rich people still need their Porsches worked up and their Mercedes, new tires and such. Hey, Tammy, how you doing, girl? I want you to know I don't blame you for dropping my last name. I'm just glad you're happier now.
Well, I appreciate that, Ronald. I mean, we ain't got to get into it now, but we's in conflicting businesses. They ain't ever going to work.
You seeing anybody?
I don't want to discuss that right now because he may or may not be a part of this game show tonight, but yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Tammy, you're right. We don't have to get into it at all tonight, but we can at least skim the surface. So give me the elevator pitch on your guys' relationship.
Well, obviously it's Ted. That's why I've been fixing the sprinklers off and on so much,
Shoots straight up, comes right back down.
Right back down, right. You see what I'm saying?
Just like Ted. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Hurtful.
It is. And unfortunately now, Ronald, with you being retired, you have nothing but time to think about Tammy and Ted together. That's the worst. But moving on, here's your question, Ronald. True or false? Kalamazoo College is the second oldest private college in Michigan. Did you go to college at all, Ronald?
Went to trade school. And then got some certifications from the Mercedes Diesel Mechanic Association of America. I have multiple accreditations through various institutes of mostly the German automakers. Wow. I'm extremely good with no, I didn't go to college per se.
While Ronald's thinking, Tammy, would you describe Ronald as someone who's good with his hands? Sorry, Ted.
Oh wow, we're getting real PG-13 up in here, but yeah, absolutely. I mean, Ted, plug your ears for a second, but he's not so bad, I better leave it at that.
Yep.
You ain't got to leave it at that. You spread it all over Facebook for years and years.
Well, I knew he was divorcing, so I wanted to get some action afterwards. I'm sorry for trying to help you make it amicable.
Well, you did make it amicable, and that's why I think that Ted has some surprises awaiting him in the future. Because wham, it happens all of a sudden. She's gone.
All right. Well, we're gonna have to practice some German efficiency here and get back to our game. Ronald, do you have an answer to the question, true or false? Kalamazoo College.
All in on true.
In Michigan. He's going with true. All right.
I wish I had a pile of chips.
All right. Well, it might be a good thing that you don't, because the answer is false. It is the oldest, and it was formed in 1833. All right. So, looking back at our scores after that first round, Ted, you have 0 points. Tammy, you are sitting pretty with 100 points. And Ronald, you also have 0.
100 points.
No, 0 points.
There you go. Add numbers to where there ain't numbers.
Uh-oh.
Sorry.
Oh man.
You told me he did that. You told me he did that all the time.
I know. I don't mean to spread information even more, but I'm just telling you the truth. You're my love right now.
Ted, stick to biology. You're not a math teacher, okay?
All right, some strong words from Ronald, and Dana White will be getting up those questions from our viewers momentarily. And this first one comes from Lizzie Hanaway, and it's for Tammy Ricky. Lizzie says, I often hear a drip drip from my faucet only after I've laid down to sleep. When I get up to turn the faucet off, I just repeat the process all over again until I give up and just take a wet nap in the bathtub. How can I fix this?
Well, I would have to refer to my manual to double check, but you know how you get a sock and it's got one open end? Just put that up on that faucet and you won't hear that drip no more. You'll be fine on that. You're welcome. That one's for free.
Oh, wow. So I hope that fixes your problem, Lizzie. And next up, we have a question from Sue Holler, and it's for Ronnie Grizz. And Sue says, how's your neck injury doing after that car lift malfunctioned and dropped that Audi on your head? Oh, my gosh.
Poorly, but it's getting better every day through prayer and long walks. Okay. So thank you for asking.
Yeah, prayer.
I didn't realize that was a widely advertised accident. I mean, it happens all the time in the industry, especially with Audis. They just don't like being lifted. Yeah. They don't like it.
Ronald, have you ever tried to combine the two and pray while you're walking?
I guess that's the kind of thing you only learn if you go to college. No, I had not actually thought of that, but I will consider it if I can. It sounds challenging, to say the least.
Yeah, don't berate yourself like that. I mean, an Audi did drop on your head. All right, this next question comes from Meredith Frank, and it is for Ted. Thanks for this, Meredith. Keratoconus is a genetic condition. My mom's mom had it, but her dad didn't. My mom has it, my dad doesn't. Does that mean eye herniation is related to a dominant gene? Can you create a Punnett square to see if I'll have it? Then can you let me know what exercises I can do on the basketball court to overcome my potential condition and make the JV squad this year? So a pretty cut and dry question for you, Ted.
Yes.
All right, great.
Slam dunk.
Meredith.
Smart.
Yeah.
I was thinking that the answer might be yes.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking a break from the game contestants to chat with our viewers. I know that they always appreciate it. And before we get back to the game, as we're about to do, just a quick reminder to please support Crawl Space Theater Productions by purchasing e-gift cards on our website. They're a great way to get ready for our live shows. It'll be coming back, and also upcoming classes. And there are still a couple of spots left in the virtual class on two-person improv scenes that Dan and Tara Seitzma will be teaching. But those classes, they start on Monday, May 18th. So be sure to visit crawlspacetheater.com or Crawl Space Theater Productions on Facebook for more information on that as soon as you get a chance. Don't want you to miss that. And now back to more. Yes, there really is an answer. And we are on question 4. And this one is for you, Ted. And it has to do with Kalamazoo Valley Museum, which I'm sure as a biology teacher, you sometimes go to. Am I right?
All the time. Just love it there. One of my favorite places.
Do you ever go there as a basketball coach?
Well, I take the basketball and I sometimes dribble my way through it. Again, sometimes you just have to, liven it up a little bit.
Yeah. I would imagine that that's frowned on. Is that the case?
Yeah, I've been thrown out a couple of times. Yes,
Okay.
I'm not happy with it.
He's ruined a lot of our dates. Just want to say that.
Oh, so you go for the museum date, do you, Ted?
Well, it's free. I mean, you come on. We
Mhm.
dumpster dive afterwards, though. I mean, there's some great restaurants downtown.
Yeah.
I'm a romantic at heart.
He sure is.
Sure you absolutely are. Well, Ted, your question is the mummy on display at Kalamazoo Valley Museum that of a male or female?
I'm gonna go male.
You're gonna go male, and if you don't mind me asking, what's your thought process there, Ted? Why do you go male on that?
I just have a gut feeling that somehow I remember seeing something about a male.
Okay.
Now it could have been my mailbox at the corner, but I think it was a male.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I wouldn't put my stamp of approval on your answer, Ted, because the correct answer is female.
Oh ho ho!
Sorry, baby.
But really quick,
Ronnie, you haven't.
Ted,
Grizz, you haven't gotten anything either, so you be quiet.
Now, boys, there's enough of me to go around. You ain't got to fight with each other, okay?
He's mine.
Now, Ted, I do want to ask really quickly, since we are talking about yours and Tammy's relationship. Do you have a good relationship with Tammy's mummy?
She seems to kind of like me, kinda. Maybe.
Okay.
I know that. Yeah, she doesn't like me at all.
No.
Oh, okay.
He's too educated for our kind. She gets intimidated by him.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
You can run into that. All right. Well, moving on to Tammy with question 5. Here's your question, Tammy. In what decade did Kalamazoo become the first city to install curb cuts? And if you're not familiar, curb cuts are solid ramps that connect sidewalks to streets.
Wow. He's really throwing a curveball at me here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you got something to say, Ronnie?
I'll just say you know what a sidewalk is, don't you, honey?
I go walking sometimes when I get lost, when I try to leave food dance and whatnot. But anyways, I think it was we'll say the 1950s, back when life was better, the 50s.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, and you are so close, Tammy. The 1940s.
Oh, Lord.
The 1940s. But not to worry, you're still in the lead with 100 points.
Don't mind if I do.
Hey, do-si-do. All right. And our last regular question is for Ronald. And Ronald,
Tammy, is that my dog? Tammy, is that my dog? So help me God, that's not my pug in the background, is it?
No, I got an identical pug. If this is not your pug.
That is not Gerald. That is not Gerald?
Nope, Gerald had to be put down. I told you that. This is another adult. This one's name's Jerry, not Gerald.
The heck you told me that? What'd you do? Send a postcard to China and back? I never got word of that. How did he pass?
Well, he got the infection that pugs often get. It's called abominitis, because they got abominitis, and I had to get him put down.
Well, I think we could put this to rest right now. Ronald, if you wouldn't mind, why don't you try calling the name Gerald, and let's see if the dog approaches the camera. Go for it.
Oh, my heart will split in two no matter what happens. Gerald! Gerald, she's got headphones on. That's a trick. That's a trick question.
You know what? I'll yell it. Gerald, see? Gerald. That ain't Gerald, okay?
Yep.
I helped pick her out, so yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, easy, everyone. All right, question 6 for you, Ronald. The following heavily distorted picture shows something that is located in Kalamazoo. What is it? And Dana White is going to display that picture right now, and there it is. What do you see there, Ronald?
How specific can I use many words? I know what it is.
You know what it is.
I mean, Can I answer in paragraph form?
Why don't you just make it really simple, Grizz? Really simple.
Just like you.
All right. Yeah, Ronald, paragraph form is fine as long as it's 3 sentences or less.
I believe it to be the sign on the bookstore/newspaper purveyor that is next to Studio Grill, where you are told to wait while Studio Grill is too busy. It is on Michigan Avenue, across from the First Baptist Church.
Okay. Again, this is very uncommon, but I'm going to have to check with my producer and see if that's acceptable. Is that acceptable? He has no points. He has no points.
Wait a minute, I have no points either. Come on.
And he's all alone. He doesn't even have Tammy anymore. Yeah.
Or Gerald.
For sympathy. Okay. All right. We're
Sympathy
going to give it to you because you did such a good job of describing where it is. It is, in fact, the famous Michigan News Agency sign, which puts Ronald on the board with 100 points. Congratulations, Ronald.
Wait a minute. That's a sympathy 100 points. There's a difference.
Mm-hmm.
It is not, sir. I respectfully request that you take that allegation back.
Yeah, I have to say, Ted, it's just part of the new normal. We got to get through this together.
He can't remember my birthday, but he could give 3 paragraphs about some blurry sign. That's why we divorced now.
I never remembered your birthday because you lied about your age for the first 3 years we was together, and then the first 2 years we was married too. And so I never knew if it was January 1st or if it was June 2nd.
Who doesn't lie?
Couldn't even get your story straight.
You know what? Let's just move on. This is getting hostile. I just want to be sweet to my baby Ted up there. Okay.
Thank you.
Forever 21 Tammy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let's quickly review our scores. At the end of our normal round, Ted, you have 0 points. Tammy, you have 100 points. And your ex-husband, Ronald, also has 100 points.
Kinda.
All right.
Sympathy points. Sympathy points, Bannon.
Sympathy points, but they spend just like regular points. All right, so that brings us to our final question, and this is a question that we like to call here on Yes, There Really Is an Answer, Kalamazoo, Portage, or blank.
Ooh.
And that's right, ooh. And tonight, the blank is Truth or Consequences, New Mexico. Truth or Consequences, New Mexico. So go ahead and get your
wait, excuse me.
Ready?
Question. Is that like we have to play Truth or Dare? New Mexico is the city, or what? I don't understand.
So I'll
of course you don't.
No, I'll explain it right here in a second, and I'll probably do it in under a paragraph. I'll read you the question here, Ronald, and maybe that'll make things a little bit clearer. Your question is, which city, Kalamazoo, Portage, or Truth or Consequences, New Mexico, has an area of 12.8 square miles? So what I need from you, the contestants, is to write down your answer and display that in a minute. Are you with us, Ronald?
I'm here.
All right. And
I didn't know I was going to have to write nothing.
That's okay. And we're not asking for cursive. Block lettering is fine. And I'll read that question one more time. Which city, Kalamazoo, Portage, or Truth or Consequences, New Mexico, has an area of 12.8 square miles? And take a moment to write down your answers. And while you're doing that, I'll go ahead and say that for all of our viewers, be sure to stay tuned for another edition of Yes, There Really Is an Answer. And stay up to date on all things Crawl Space Theater by following Crawl Space Theater Productions on Facebook. And also be sure to sign up for our email updates. We promise not to spam you. And also, if local game shows and the like have suddenly kind of become your thing, you're very much in luck because Farmer's Alley usually has something going on online. So be sure to check out their Facebook page for details. And it looks like some of you are still writing your answers down. I'll read that question one more time. Which city, Kalamazoo, Portage, or Truth or Consequences, New Mexico, has an area of 12.8 square miles? All right. It looks like all of our contestants are ready. And I'm going to go ahead and start with you, Ted. Ted, how does it feel to be on the other end of this sort of thing? You're not asking your students to write down answers. You're writing down the answers.
Not exactly crazy about it. Just going to point that out, Bannon.
Sure. Understand. So what is the answer that you have, Ted?
I picked Portage.
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 Okay. And what was your thought process there, Ted?
It's smaller than Kalamazoo, and I don't know anything about Truth or Consequences, New Mexico.
Oh, okay. Well, if you ever get the chance, be sure to visit there. It's especially lovely this time of year. Unfortunately, Ted, I do have to say Portage is not the correct answer. I'm sorry. Very sorry, Ted. What kind of advice would you give your students or one of your athletes who just did poorly on something?
Quit. They just quit. Quit. Done. Quit.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
You hear that, Tammy?
Except for on you. You and I are good.
All right,
Ted,
gentlemen.
if you say so, baby.
Moving on to Tammy Ricky. Tammy, let's see your answer.
Okay, I wrote truth and consequences because I don't know how to spell consequences, so I just wrote the word blank.
Okay. I'm going to just check with my producer really quick. Can we give that to her? Yeah.
I'm
Now
saying consequences.
Now she's with Ted, and he doesn't seem like all that great of a guy, honestly. Yeah, sympathy. All right, we're going to give it to you, Tammy. 300 sympathy points for Tammy. Awesome. Close enough, as they say in the handy woman business, right?
Yeah, you can't hold spelling against me. I ain't no biology teacher like my boo up there.
All right. Fantastic. 300 points for Tammy Ricky.
Woo!
And that leaves us with checking in with Ronald Grizzle. Ronald, what is your answer for us?
He cheated. I bet
Cheater.
he cheated.
No, he wrote it down after. I saw his hand move.
Yeah, me too. I think he cheated.
I saw his hand move.
Unfortunately, we have to go with the honor system here on Yes, There Really Is an Answer. So congratulations, Ronald. You just earned yourself 300 points. What was your thought process there, Ronald?
I like the shape. I like the shape of the letters primarily.
Mm-hmm.
They're very structural. The N and the M and the X. It's like a girder on a bridge.
He's right.
Yeah, or solid.
And Portage.
Like yeah.
I ain't gonna write down Portage. And Kalamazoo. She just seems bigger than that. Because 12.8. What is that? That's like 3 times 4. We're bigger than that.
Yeah. It's so true. Yeah. Okay, moving on. Let's look at our final scores. Ted, you have 0 points. Tammy, you have 400 points.
Yikes.
And Ronald, you also have 400 points. Yet another similarity that you have with your ex-wife. Ted, does it worry you, these similarities that are popping up between Ronald and Tammy at all?
I don't even see them, really. So I really don't even know what you're talking about.
That's right, baby. I'm just only for you. That's it. He is old news.
See, yeah.
All right.
I picked the dog out too, so it's like he's out.
Yeah.
Not worried.
Okay, so we have the answer to who let the dogs out. Unfortunately, Ted, this means that you're going to be the one to serenade us with an a cappella version of that classic song, I've Got a Gal in Kalamazoo. You only have to sing one verse, Ted. Do you have a verse in mind that you're going to go with?
I think I'm going to take the first verse. That's probably the easiest.
Yes, the first verse.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Ted, I'll count you down, and the rest of us, Ronald and Tammy, will support you by dancing and reacting as if it's the most lovely rendition that we've ever heard. Right, Ronald?
Sure thing.
Ronald, he's got a voice like sweet baby Jesus. You ain't never heard nothing like it. You're gonna cry. You're gonna
it
cry.
sounds like we're in for a treat.
And I dance
All
like
right.
Baryshnikov.
Fantastic. All right. Well, I am going to count you down, Ted, and you're going to take it away in 3, 2, 1. Go for it.
I got a gal in Kalamazoo. Don't want to boast, but I know she's the host of Kalamazoo, zoo. Years have gone by, but she grew. I like her looks when I carried her books in Kalamazoo, zoo.
Awesome.
Yes,
Huge round
baby,
of
yes.
applause for Ted. Ted, it seemed like you were singing directly to Tammy. It was beautiful.
Love of my life right there, yeah.
Baby, I love you.
That is so lovely. Sorry, Ronald. At first, I thought that you might have had a chance, but with the voice of an angel that Ted has, I'm not feeling it anymore.
You're out, man.
Ow.
Yeah, well, based on how I felt when he sang, if Tammy feels even half, let alone double that, then I am just thrilled, and I wish you two the best
That is so big of you.
in your life
Wow.
together.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank
I
you,
love
Steve.
that
Thank you.
we could end on this mature, lovely note. Thank you so much, Ted. Thank you so much, Tammy.
Yeah.
And a big thank you for being so altruistic there, Ronald. Really appreciate it. Thank you, contestants. Thank you, everyone who continues to watch us, everyone a part of Crawl Space Theater. And above all else, before we go, be sure that you're taking care of yourselves. And remember to help control the bat population. Have your bats spayed or neutered. Good night, everybody.
Kalamazoo, you are about to find out with some improvisation and witty banter. You'll have no doubt that, yes, there really is an answer. Kalamazoo.